All right, awesome. Thank you everyone for joining us. My name is Kylie Warner, and my husband Kwame and I are part of the corporate team for Eyeline. So we're really excited for you guys to kind of hear what's going on. There's a couple of stakeholders that'll be joining us, Michael Faust and Dino, and we're going to give them an opportunity to just tell us what they saw traveling the world in some of the corporate offices. So with that, our first guest is going to be Dino, and Dino is traveling right now, but he's been gracious enough to join us. So thank you for taking some time with us. I love your heart, Dino, and what you're doing for your people. You're passionate about what you do, and I want you to tell us a little bit about your trip to Colombia. Tell us what you thought, what you saw, and just give us an update.
Sure. Thanks. Appreciate it, Calais. And thanks, Michael, also for being here. Michael was I was with him, or he was with me. Well, we've had, just to set the stage, we've had an interesting experience before, and this time we wanted to go see for ourselves. And we wanted to look people in the eye and say, we've seen it, it's there, it's happening, and these people are real. And that's exactly what we saw. Plus, Colombia is an awesome country. I highly recommend it. Amazing climate, great people, great food. We went in the office. We saw 15 happy people. And we didn't know, and Michael and I were talking about it at the end. We said, we didn't know we were looking for this, but the most important thing I saw is people working happy together. And we obviously saw records. We saw the mining technology. And we met with two of the owners, Kenny and Angel. And we like what we heard. I mean, this is real. I can go into a lot more detail, but I'd rather not. And I'm moving forward at full speed, to be blunt. So that's all I have, unless you have a specific question or something you want me to cover.
No, I love that. I absolutely love that, to be able to see, touch, and just kind of testify to what's going on and what's available, because of, as everyone knows, the crypto space, there's a great opportunity there. And so to be able to really see the operation, and did you meet John Paul while you were down there as well, Dino?
We met him in a Zoom because he happened to be in Mexico City closing deals. Michael met him, and what I'd like to add, since you mentioned that, is people ask me what the difference is from Eyeline and everything else out there, and my answer is one sentence: it's real.
Yes. Well, thank you for that, Dino. Thank you for.
I can also say that.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Colette. Thank you for being here too.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dino. And so with that, I will turn it over to Michael Faust. I know Michael's joining us from Thailand, and I know, Michael, you visited Colombia and the U.S. and Mexico, and you got a chance to just touch Eyeline and verify the wonderful and cutting edge things that we're doing right now. So tell us a little bit about your experience, Michael.
Thanks. I might just share a screen of a few pickies as well. So our travels took us from Thailand to Shanghai to LA down to Colombia. It was our first route, and Colombia, it was my first time in Latin America. I've traveled actually quite extensively around the world, and as Dino said, it was an amazing country and certainly gave me a reason to come back. One of the things we actually noticed was the actual calibre of people and the hospitality that was shown to us, and the willingness for everyone involved in the actual trading company who develops, benefits from the packs that we purchase, that they went out of their way to show us they had a real operation. And so we went to the head office of Eyeline Business and Development. This is actually a software development company building an ecosystem of cryptocurrency assets, including the iCash token, the iWallet, the exchange, and the actual mining operation. We saw the actual patented technology there. And it was a team, a very young, dynamic team. You've got the lady there who's HR department. She's got a psychology degree, a very talented person. The guy in the suit at the very back was the actual lawyer for the company, very young, dynamic man. John, who's sitting next to me, is like the engine room of their business down there. An amazing man. You can see he's on top of everything. And there was actually all the programmers, all the people that were involved in different facets of operation. They're actually expanding the operation very quickly in Colombia. They're taking out 3 floors of a new building in Colombia, Medellin, 1 floor for the mining operation, 2 floors for office space, so that to expand it. They've also bought some land close to the actual hydroelectric power station, about 45 minutes out of town. Very cheap access to power there, so expanding their mining operation. Also Colombia, they're expanding from there to Mexico because they've got some actually strong connections through their international lawyer there with the government in Mexico, and the actual profile of Mexico in preference to Colombia globally is a bit better as well. So they've taken out 3 floors in Mexico City office space there. The architect that we got to meet him, I'm trying to think where he's in the picture here. He's the gentleman just behind the 3 at the front, just behind Dino there. He's the architect. Now, when you start actually hiring architects to design your floor space, the engine, John Paul's brother is the engineer who actually developed the actual patented technology for the mining operation. You got all these qualified people and a very functional office with all these different professional people. You know it's a real deal. You know, it's amazing some of the stories I've heard of how we actually orchestrated this trip, and we somehow, you know, found an office and put some people in it to make it look like it's real. I mean, seriously, it doesn't matter what you tend to do these days, people are always going to try and find fault. But we wanted to go actually hand on heart. We did this for the benefit of the members, but also for our sake personally, because when you're putting your actual name out there and your brand in the marketplace, you want to put actually hand on heart and say to people that we've seen it firsthand. We actually challenged them with lots of hard questions, as we tend to do, because, you know, when you're putting your brand out there, you want to have real answers and a real opportunity to give to people as well. And what I liked about it is they were actually very passionate about showing us the evidence of what they had. Now, obviously, they're not going to show us intellectual property that's actually commercially sensitive and all sort of stuff, but we saw, as far as trading accounts, we saw the client lists, we saw people who've been doing business with them and they've been generating profits for the last year now. We saw actually large Bitcoin transfers for the off the book. You know, did we see exactly the names of the clients and exactly who was being transferred who? No, because they're not going to show us what information. The blockchain records, they showed us the blockchain records of the transactions. So we got a very strong sense that this was the actual real deal as far as the trading operation goes. And I said, John Paul was actually Mexico City with his international lawyer who's got strong connections to the World Bank, to the United Nations, top tier 1 banks around the world and major corporations around the world as well. And he's getting them linked into, you know, to expand their ecosystem globally. And this is another, some more photos from the office here. This was actually on a Saturday afternoon. The entire staff came in to spend time with us, even though it was actually their day off. And there was a festival in their city that weekend, so actually a long weekend, and the entire staff took time to be there for us and show us presentations of the iCash, of the iWallet, was exchanged, the mining operations, everything. So from there, I'll go back to my little diagram here. I flew up to Utah, to Salt Lake City, where the marketing company is with Dan Putnam. So I'll go back to my little picture here. This is the head office. It's not your conventional head office. And a lot of people say it looks like a wedding center and it's an actual function center. It was actually built by a diamond in Amway. He built it for a place to run his large international business, running events in there. It's got a very large basement. It's got a large warehouse out the back. So Dan saw it as an ideal place to run. He's involved in a multiple of businesses. So the actual physical products could be stored in the basement and in the warehouse. There's actual meeting rooms inside. It's very plush. There's a number of different offices in the building as well. But again, they're outsourcing a lot of things they do with the compliance, with the actual KYC, with the, they're all outsourced to companies who specialize in that. The actual support staff are located in different parts of Mexico City and the US. The IT is spread between the US, Philippines, and other Soviet countries. So again, you know, the actual business model of running an international company doesn't necessarily have to be everybody in one single building. You know, in fact, if you want to keep your costs down, be able to have lots of money left over to invest into the company, you don't want to have a massive office building with all these extra staff you don't really need when you can outsource very cheaply to people who actually specialize. This is one of the meeting rooms in the office that people can come in and, you know, they can bring their leaders in, host an event, easily holds close to 100 people. The actual boardroom upstairs where we interviewed Dan, there'll be a corporate video interview coming out over the next couple of days, and also with Michaela and Kwame, there's video interviews with them as well. So this will give you an idea of who is behind the company, and we asked them lots of interesting questions to get their background. And this is Dan's office. It's got quite a large office space. So again, you know, all the essential things that you need. Then we flew across to Denver. It was my first time to Denver, and Macaulay and Kwame gave us some some time while we were there to interview them as far as their roles in the company. While in Denver, we actually met with Patrick behind the Rapid Funnel system, which is one of the main marketing tools to get a really good understanding. We're working very closely with Patrick to help feed marketing material into that to help the members be very effective in their marketing. Then we flew down to basically Mexico City. It's my first time to Mexico as well. And we met there with John Paul Ramirez and Christian Freak, the lawyer. And again, we were shown a lot more intricate detail of the trading operation because I said they're actually expanding the operation into Mexico. Again, we asked lots of hard questions, and we got to interview the support staff, Carlos and Maria, from Venezuela. They're based in Mexico City now. They're actually lawyers, very highly qualified lawyers, done consular work for the US consulate in Venezuela as well. Very talented people. So my overwhelming observation is there was a very high caliber of people across the board, from the trading operation to the support to the marketing operation to the actual marketing systems, to the IT, the web design, every aspect operation in this company. I think what I also noticed is they're just nice people. They're the sort of people you actually enjoy hanging out with. And, you know, you don't have to like everyone to be successful in business, but it makes business a lot easier if you are working with people that you enjoy being with. I think that's what really impressed us. Now, I've personally been around this industry for over 28 years, and I've owned companies and managed them and founded companies and helped companies. And in the crypto space in the last few years, we've had a lot of time actually consulting to companies. And I got to say, I haven't been overly impressed with the caliber of people who are founding these companies, but there was no doubt the actual breadth of talent and experience across all different people was vast. What really impressed me with Dan and Kwame and others is they knew their strengths and they knew their weaknesses, and they knew when to delegate, and they knew when to bring in other people who could fill those gaps. No one can be a master of everything. You've got to actually work on your strengths. And there's no doubt the experience, though, is great. And the actual passion and commitment to make this a long-term company. I was sharing with my team the other night that there are two things that are actually going to be constant in this business. The first thing is change. The first constant in this business will be change. So if you come into this expecting everything to be status quo and always the same, get ready, it's not going to be like that. We're in a cryptocurrency industry where governments and regulators are still working out what to do with it in most countries. The rules, the regulations are changing. So change is part of it. Challenges, that's the other constant. There's going to be challenges. So to me, it's not about how big their office is or all the detailed transparency. It's more to do with the caliber of the people involved, and do a few things here. So when you're dealing with constant changes and challenges, you need to have it with the character and the mindset that they recognize that to start with, that they understand there's going to be challenges and going to be change. Then do they have a desire to actually adapt and change when you need to, That's the next thing. And do they have the capacity in terms of the experience and the knowledge and the resources to adapt and change when you need to? That is more important than anything else, because if you don't have those qualities, you're not going to be able to succeed long term. If this gets actually viral growth, which we have no doubt that it will, and all the things happening in the cryptocurrency market, you've got to be ready for that. So I have no doubt that they have a high caliber team that can do that, but they're also very aware of the challenges that can occur, and they've invited and brought in other people with knowledge and skills to help them be ready for that as well. So I have no doubt we put ourselves on the line with this from day one anyway. We didn't, I always, when I get involved in something, it's all in, boots and all. I'm not a person who dips their toe in the water, but I only start when I'm fully convinced. But there's no doubt I came back from this trip very, very happy with what I've found, and looking forward to taking this to the next level.
Thank you, Michael. That was great. And thank you for sharing all of the graphics that you shared. I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head, both you and Dino alike, just with how real the company is and the leadership that's there, the synergy that's there, and it's the possibilities that are there. So I thank you guys. I want to thank you, Michael and Dino, both for coming on and for sharing your hearts with us, for sharing the information that you got. Guys, this is really a ground floor opportunity. You don't get these opportunities very often, not with a company that has the abilities that we have, and not with a company that's going where we're going. So get back to the person who invited you, talk to the folks who got you the information to get on this Zoom, and you'll look forward to more webinars and more information that will get you from Eyeline, from corporate. We're so excited to have you guys a part of the team, and thank you again for joining us. You guys have a great evening or a great morning wherever you are in the world. Thank you.